All right, guys, have a seat because today's video dives deep into the tangled web of corruption, hypocrisy, and political theater surrounding none other than New York Attorney General Letitia James. You know, Big Tish, the same woman who built her career on fighting for women, who proudly declared no one is above the law. But apparently, that motto doesn't apply to her or her inner circle. Welcome to Nellie Miranda. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe as it helps support this channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Let me play a clip for you of a man who had the courage to stand up and ask how does she feel knowing she's going to prison. Take a listen.
How does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. They're discredited. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
He clearly already knew that he was going to be thrown out. He said his statement and gathered his things to leave. Good for him. And it's nerving of her to be yelling, we, as if the Democratic Party all benefited from her mortgage fraud. As if all of them are being investigated collectively. This is manipulation. We're in this together. Think of me like you would think of yourself because we are one and we cannot let them get us down. She's playing on all of their emotions. Whole time, this woman is a fraud. Anyways, we know plenty of Letitia and her mortgage fraud dealings. But did we know that Big Tish protects those involved in sexual misconduct? So as long as they're on her team?
Top aide to New York Attorney General Tish James has stepped down amid a sexual harassment probe. James confirming that the Chief of Staff Ibrahim Khan resigned after what she calls an impartial investigation. The New York Times reports Khan was accused of inappropriate touching and unwanted kissing by at least one woman. Ironically, it was James who investigated sexual harassment allegations against former Governor Andrew Cuomo that led to his resignation.
Now let's rewind to 2022 when Letitia's top aide Ibrahim Khan was accused of sexual misconduct. Not one woman, but at least two stepped forward with allegations of inappropriate touching and unwanted kissing. But instead of doing what any prosecutor should, which is launching a transparent investigation, informing law enforcement, or even removing the accused, Letitia kept it quiet. She didn't inform the public, didn't refer to NYPD, didn't hold a press conference. Instead, she calculated every move to protect her own political future. And the firm she hired, it employed a former assistant attorney general from her office. Talk about a conflict of interest. Remember, this is the same woman who went after Governor Andrew Cuomo for sexual harassment. She called press conferences, published a 165-page report, and proclaimed these allegations were substantiated. They were corroborated. I believe these women.
The investigators independently corroborated and substantiated these facts through interviews and evidence, including contemporaneous notes and communications. This evidence will be made available to the public along with the report. This investigation was started after a number of women publicly alleged that they had been sexually harassed by Governor Cuomo. And on March 1st of this year, the governor's office made a referral to my office pursuant to State Executive Law 63-8 regarding these allegations. The independent investigation has concluded that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women and in doing so violated federal and state law. Specifically, the investigation found that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed current and former New York State employees by engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching and making numerous offensive comments of a suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment for women.
But when it was her guy, her longtime aide, suddenly it's all hush-hush. Suddenly you don't believe those women. Now, I know this isn't the same woman screaming from the rooftops about being the people's protector. One of the accusers, Sophia Quintanar, alleges that Khan forcibly kissed her at a Brooklyn fundraiser in 2021. She says that she was terrified, and she says Letitia James knew about Khan's past. She hired him anyway and protected him when the heat came down. Let that sink in. She knew about Khan, and she still brought him up with her up the political ladder. What does that tell you about her moral character?
Following the allegations of sexual misconduct, New York Attorney General Letitia James' top aide, Ibrahim Khan, has resigned and faces an investigation. The former aide to the Attorney General's office who filed the complaint told the New York Times Wednesday that Khan forcibly kissed her. According to a document sent to WENY, the Office of the Attorney General took disciplinary action and placed Khan under restrictions within 24 hours of the complaint. The office then engaged in an investigation with an outside law firm on October 4th, 2022.
In 2017, another woman alleged that Khan drugged and assaulted her after a holiday party. That complaint went nowhere. No charges, quiet exit, same cycle. James has consistently operated in a way that raises serious ethical red flags, from quietly covering sexual harassment allegations to allegedly committing mortgage fraud herself. She's now feeling untouchable because she keeps getting away with everything that she does that's incorrect. So let's backtrack a little bit. Why was Ibrahim Khan's story swept under the rug? Simple. It was a political liability. So heading into her November 2022 re-election, Letitia James could not afford a public scandal tied to her inner circle. So instead of transparency, she chose strategy, quietly limiting her aide's access, bringing in an outside firm, and stalling the public disclosure. The truth only came out once the votes were locked in. And even then, there were no criminal charges, no law enforcement involvement, just a conveniently timed resignation and a polished press release claiming she stood with the victims. But in reality, Letitia James stood for herself.
The Attorney General wrote in an official statement that her office treated this matter aggressively, and she thanks the women who came forward. She states, quote, "I want to thank the women who came forward, and I want to assure them that they were heard and that I believe them."
She did not pursue this aggressively at all. This is a slap in the face to those women. So let's take a look at the timeline of events. On October 2nd, 2022, James' office learns of the accusations. October 3rd, Khan is told to work remotely and not speak with the staff. October 4th, an outside firm is brought in for a so-called independent review. November 8th, James wins re-election. Then late November, Khan resigns. Then James acknowledges the claims. She knew about the accusations since October 2nd, waits until late November to acknowledge the claims, and then have the nerve to say her office treated this matter aggressively. Aggressive would have meant acknowledging that accusation within the same week. This is hypocrisy at its finest. She should have went after her aide in the same fashion that she did Andrew Cuomo. Letitia James said, "No one is above the law." So let's hold her to it. Public confidence in Letitia James is unraveling with each new revelation. What was once seen as bold leadership is now viewed by so many as self-serving manipulation. The people of New York are starting to question whether Letitia James stands for justice or just for herself. For a public official who built her brand on transparency and moral clarity, the growing perception of dishonesty is devastating. Trust isn't just fading, it's vanishing, as it should. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if honest commentary brings you value, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.